Today we are talking about foundations under £5. I have a bunch of things to tell you about each of these. I did start making notes, but after a while I was like, I'm not a note-taking kind of, this is not going to work. I do think I have individual reviews on each of these products. If so, I will link them below. I may be missing one or two, but the majority here, I do definitely have like day tests. If you want me to kind of drill down on individual products, that information is there for you, but I'm just going to run through them. I'm going to tell you why I like them, why you might like them. I don't think there is any one perfect foundation here. I think perfect foundation is difficult to find anyway, let alone under £5. So everything's going to be a trade-off. So for example, if I say this one kind of collects around this area, but it's this, bear in mind that yes, I'm telling you these are the best that I've found under £5, but there's always going to be a negative. There's very, very few products, even products that I absolutely love, that are just absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing. No drawbacks whatsoever. So kind of just bear that in mind. There are going to be pros and cons to each of these, and I'm going to talk you through them because what might be a pro for me might be a con for you. So I'm going to start with one that is going to be a controversial one for that reason. This is called Essence You Better Work Gym Proof Waterproof Tinted Day Cream. It's anti-shine and skin perfecting, and I got the shade 10 Light. I loved this so much. I loved it so much. I wore it for about a week and it broke me out horribly, horribly. And I don't tend to break out from products. Like things don't tend to like irritate my skin in that way. So it was really, really frustrating because it is one of the best foundation products, especially under £5, but at all best for me that I've ever used. It just made everything look perfect, how I want it to be. And as kind of a frame of reference for you guys, I don't like really, really heavy coverage. I'm wearing something much heavier today than I usually would wear because I'm testing something out. But I usually do like that more tinted. You can see your skin through it, but everything's kind of a little bit more perfected, you know, just like make everything look like your skin just looks that way rather than a mask of makeup. That's my vibe. And this totally did that for me. I loved it so much. It wore really well. It was great for oil control. And I just was not expecting very much of it. And it really, really surpassed my expectations. Unfortunately, it did break me out. This is not going to break everyone out. And that's why I'm putting it in the top list, because I do think it's a really, really good foundation for someone. And I still think I may go back to this. I said this not that long ago, that I still may wear this occasionally. And someone was like, why would you? Like, because you don't understand. You find something that you love that much. It just really, really sucked. Maybe I can find a good primer or something barrier-ish between me and this, and we can work together again. I don't know, we'll see. But I did really, really like this. And if you are not breakout prone, maybe, I don't know. But I think it's worth a try. Next, this one from Primark, I definitely did a video on. This I pit against my double wear. So this is called My Perfect Colour. The colour I've got is Porcelain, which is not my perfect colour at all. I think it was too pale. This was £5, not under £5, but it was £5. And it fared very, very well against the double wear. Again, I wasn't expecting much and it was really, really good. Now this again is a heavier coverage, not entirely what I would usually go for. I also don't go for anything, like double wear used to be my all-time creme de la creme favourite. I wore it every single day. I don't do that now. I'm now looking for something that's a little bit more forgiving on my skin. It's not going to exacerbate any kind of fine lines or make anything look worse. If I do get a little bit dehydrated, I don't want anything that is going to age my skin further. I would rather now be oily than not. And that's just kind of preference. 10 years ago, I was matte, matte, matte. And now I'm like, I'll take a bit of shine. It's youthful. So the only reason that this would not be my personal favourite of the bunch now is because double wear is probably no longer my favourite of the bunch. But if you really like Estee Lauder double wear, I think this is a really, really, really great alternative. Very long wearing, not too heavy when you actually apply it, but you can definitely build up a nice coverage and good for oil control too. But like I say, I do have a video on that if you want to see like a full in-depth thing just on that and comparing it with the more expensive one. I've got another Primark one in here. This is, again, My Perfect Colour. Foundation pressed powder. I've got this in Ivory, which is a good colour for me, and this is only £2. Now, I don't wear this as a foundation alone. I was recommended this by my friend Charles. She's called Ginger Girl Says on Instagram and her blog. Go and check her out. She's super pale, beautiful. It will make you angry. I was talking to my friend about this the other day. It was my nail technician. I was showing her pictures. And I said, she's just one of those people that every time you take a picture of her, it looks good. You're just like, you could take 15 pictures of me and I'm like, oh, that one's fine. Like, eventually I'll find one I like. But she's just, you know those people, don't you hate them? So she told me that she really, really liked this, to the point where she went and like got loads and loads and loads of them just in case, like was hoarding them, because they came in a really, really pale colour and it worked really well for her. And I think she used it the same way as me. She put like a lighter foundation on, and then she used this as her powder, but like pressed on as like more coverage, but also mattifying at the same time. This is something that I would use if I was using something very light and I felt like I wanted more coverage in certain areas. So it is a powder foundation, very much. It's like you can use it as a pressed powder, I suppose, if you want to, but it is a powder foundation. It's got quite a good amount of coverage. And I would put it on with a damp beauty blender, because I find that way it sets a little bit nicer. It's a bit more natural, isn't as cakey and powdery. Holy moly, the dog is being loud right now. He always kicks it up when I'm filming, but that's a new snoring noise. But I think that if you were just wanting it as a powder foundation, I probably would put it over like a BB cream or something. I don't know. I'm not a powder foundation kind of person, but I wanted to include it because I think it's a great product. And I think that if you are looking more that route, you might really like this. Manny! Manny! Yes, we can hear you. If you could stop, that would be great. Right. I'm nearly finished, but we can't not talk about this. Phoera, this was one that I did towards the end of last year. A couple of people told me that they were using me in their little social media advert, which was, we never discussed it. I really liked this. This I got from Amazon. One person did leave a comment on that review saying that my review wasn't legitimate because I bought it on Amazon and I bought it for a very, very small amount of money. It was like £3 or £4. And you can buy, I don't understand why there are so many and all fluctuating prices. I don't know. But she was basically saying that what I'd purchased wouldn't have been legitimate. And so it wasn't a real review. They used me in their advert, so I don't know what that says, but I believe this is a genuine Phoera product. It's a really inexpensive brand. You can get it for whatever price you want to get it from. You can get it direct from their website if you want, but you can get it for very little from Amazon. And I felt comfortable doing that. But bear in mind that, you know, you don't know. So anyway, the colour that I got was 102 Nude, which I thought was an okay match for me. Let me just double check that because I feel like it was a pretty good match. Yeah, it's not so bad. It's quite pink, but it's not so bad. And very, very similar in what it does to this one. Very high coverage, totally not what I expected at all. Even when I was putting it on my hand then, it's like, it's really thick, very unusual, not what you think it's going to be. Usually with a high coverage foundation, it's kind of like a thick but creamy, or it's thin and you build it. This is like a much, much thicker consistency. I would recommend you go and watch that video to actually see it kind of in action and being applied. But it looks really nice on the skin. It wears really well. I don't know what to tell you. It was, again, all of these are, but again, a completely unexpected bit of a marvel. And I've actually purchased their, I think it's kind of their version of this now, and I'm going to do a review for you of that one. It's like a BB tinted whatever, because although this is not my kind of foundation, I can completely appreciate that if you are into high coverage, very long lasting bases, this was a really good one. The last one is what is in my current makeup bag right now. If you've been watching my like information about Project Pan that I was doing, if you've seen those videos, I am sticking to a current makeup collection and I'm wearing that consistently for 3 months or until I use something up. So if I use up this foundation, I get to swap it out for something else, but it has to be something else that I am prepared to wear for another 3 months. And the purpose is, especially for me, I buy lots of things like the foundations I've just shown you purely for review. I will purchase them, use them for a week, give you my review, or even use them a couple of times and do like a day test, a couple of day tests, whatever, and then just put them in my drawer and continue to use the thing that I was enjoying using before. And I need to get through some of these products. And what it is teaching me is sometimes the first impression of something is not the be all and end all. I loved this. When I first used it, I was like, this is great. It was towards the end of the summertime, so my skin was different because obviously we're kind of like peak winter. It's been snowing as I'm filming this right now. Not here it hasn't been snowing. Snowing in the UK, but we haven't had any snow. It's raining outside. Very disappointed. But it has been snowing, so it's like cold and wintry. And this hasn't been working as well for me as I remember it working for me towards the end of summer. I loved it then. Really, really nice. Now my skin is a little bit dry. It's a little bit dehydrated. And I think this needs a little bit of extra help. It does work better with a sponge. It works nicer with a little bit of like oil underneath or a little bit of moisturizer or something, you know, a bit more, you know, hydrating primer, whatever. But I don't think I needed that before. So it does just go to show some of the products you've got that you've written off as duds or not that great. Potentially, if you go back to them at a different season, you may prefer them. And also, what's the other thing that I've been using? The e.l.f. primer. I've been using an e.l.f. primer that's like really supposed to be great for like filling in your pores. I put it here. Every time I used it, I think I must have used it with a brush. I put it on first, so like put it onto my skin, and then afterwards I applied my foundation with a brush. And it just kind of moved it around and it was all clingy and gross. And since then, I've been putting it on with a damp beauty blender, and then I've been applying my foundation with a damp beauty blender. Works beautifully. Looks really, really nice. Completely different thing. My husband's calling me. I'll call him back in a second. So it has really helped me to kind of try to make things work and try to see how something is gonna change when I just change something slightly about how I'm applying it. Okay, so I think I kind of got through the few notes that I did make. I got through pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about. But in terms of coverage, I just want to say, I would say this is like the least amount of coverage. This is what I actually generally prefer. This is probably the next. So it's still a good amount of coverage. It's like medium, but this is kind of as much as I would really want. Still natural, the finish and everything is still nice, but it's kind of just there. And then these ones are much higher. This one would be next, and this one would be like highest coverage. And then if you want to top one of these up with a little bit more coverage, I would recommend this. I can't tell you this on its own would work beautifully as just a foundation because that's not how I've used it. But I would love to hear from those of you who do use powder foundations on a regular basis. How do you use them? What do you prep your skin with? Because it's totally new to me. And have you used any of these products? Would you recommend them? Did it work differently for you? Let us know. I only have the one face to test these products out on. Maybe I tested something. I'd love to know if any of you are using this and love it. So jealous. But yeah, maybe there's something that works amazingly for me and I'm like, try this, it's amazing. Check the comments first because sometimes other people disagree with me and that is what we're here for. We need a bit of discussion. So I hope this has been useful for those of you who are on a super tight budget and you are considering buying a new foundation or you just want to streamline because sometimes, I mean, some things are not what you want to spend your money on. Like I'm happy to spend money on things that are exciting, like a lip product, a lip gloss, or like a cheek thing or something exciting. I'm not excited about foundation. I'm excited about skincare, masks. I'm not excited about foundation. If I can find a foundation that is like £5, everything perfect, great. It's easy to use. Amazing. I'm not going to ever be looking for expensive foundations because it's a boring product to me. Like loose powders, things like that. Oh, who cares? Concealer. I want something that like you can see and you're like, it's exciting to use it and it's tactile and everything's, ooh, do you know what I mean? I'm sure I'm not alone. Anyway, I'm going to go and return that call now. If you haven't already and you liked this rambly style video, don't forget to subscribe. I will link those other videos below. I might not. If I don't, please let me know because I'm horrible at that. And otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.